What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be another chill street photography walk and talk. This time I'm doing it during heavy rains. So if you live in BC, in November you also experienced these three weather systems that passed through that the meteorologists were referring to as atmospheric rivers. And honestly, that's pretty apt. It's like there was a freaking river in the sky for about 3 weeks, pretty much straight, with very, very few gaps in between. And the water was so immense that many rivers overflowed and caused catastrophic damage across the province. There was a little while when Vancouver was cut off from the rest of Canada because all of the highways had been completely washed away, and it was pretty intense and a very tense time for the city in general. So I decided that I would go out and do some street photography because I did street photography during the heat dome, which was another extreme weather event this year. And I did street photography during the smoky season, which was because of the wildfires, which was another extreme event caused by climate change this year. So I figured, why not do the winter version as well? And if there's a deep freeze coming up, you bet I will be out there. So I decided to do this week's video in Chinatown. I've done two other chill street photography walk and talks in Chinatown. I figured that it would be a nice contrast from the last one that I did, which was during the smoky season, to see how different the place looks when it is pouring rain from when it is completely blanketed in smoke. So one thing that I really like about rainy street photography, I did this right at Blue Hour, by the way, is that you get all of these reflections of the shop lights and everything on the ground because the ground is so wet. And even like when it's actively raining, it's the best time to go out because you get these huge puddles and the ground is just shiny and gleaming, and you get all of these great opportunities for really intense reflections. So I paused for quite a while at this shop front because it just had so much potential. I really liked kind of the green tones, and then the way those green tones in the shop contrasted with the orange tones of the neon lights beside it. Did some kind of cyberpunky edits. I'm not 100% sold on any of the edits in this video, really. It's been so long since I edited rainy day street photography at night. Most of the street photography that I've been doing this year has been in like broad daylight, bright sunlight with shadows and stuff, so it's quite a different animal when it comes to editing, but I had fun and it was a bit of a challenge for me. I started doing street photography in the rain, in the dark last year, so revisiting that with a new perspective after a full year of photographic development was, probably a good thing for me overall as an artist. Paused at this street corner because just look how beautiful, like it's so beautiful, all the street lights and the cars shining on the ground, and there's like puddles of water. Absolutely gorgeous. Miserable to experience, but beautiful to look at. It was around this point that I ditched my umbrella because it was like the top was basically flat and the water was not rolling off of it, and so I got one of those umbrellas that's like loops all the way around your shoulders and is clear. So that was a great choice because I stayed a lot drier, and so did my camera for the rest of the day. I only was out there for about an hour because it was so miserable, so that's why this video is so short. I was going to go out and do another round, but I could not convince my body to go back out in that intense rain with my camera. It's just so wet. But I'm pretty happy with the photos that I did get. I think they're definitely, it was worth the time that I spent out there at least. And I'm glad that I did the challenge. Again, trying to photograph all of these extreme weather conditions that hit Vancouver this year. And so this was definitely a necessity. Not looking forward to the deep freeze. Hopefully that's not going to happen, but at this rate, it seems like it probably will. This area coming up is kind of where Vancouver Fashion Week was, and so it's a nice contrast because that was back in October. It was sunny out, and I got a whole bunch of street style pictures of people outside, and now it's like this crazy like cyberpunk neon wasteland looking place. This Jack Chow insurance building, I've talked about it a few times I think on this channel, and it's just incredible. Like it's a great spot for portraits. You've got all these crazy neon lights. The neon lights change color, so you get like nice variation. You got this blue, you got this green, these orange lights, but it's just a fantastic place to visit in the dark, in the rain. As you can see, I was there for like, I don't know, probably 15 minutes just waiting for the perfect person to pass through. And there's also this building across the street that is also Jack Chow Insurance. Got a picture of a guy on one of those like wheel things, this person passing. Again, just really loving how the lights hit the ground. It's got a super cool cyberpunk aesthetic. And I just finished watching this show called Arcane, and it's got this intense cyberpunk aesthetic throughout like all of the underground scenes. So when I was editing these photos, I was a little bit inspired by the visuals of that show. Go check it out if you haven't watched it. This bakery, very good bakery. If you're ever in Chinatown and you're hungry, go there. It's like traditional Japanese ingredients, I suppose, but not anything traditional pastry-wise. Like, it's just very unusual tastes and flavor palettes and everything, with like mushrooms and black sesame and stuff. It's so good. Took a few pictures on the way back. Once I got to the Jack Chow Insurance building, I was like, okay, I'm gonna finish here. I'm gonna go back to my studio. Didn't really get too much. That picture of the guy sitting in the coffee shop, I don't think the colors, I couldn't really get them quite right. Nothing that I was super stoked about here. So that was all the pictures, actually. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care, stay sharp, and don't forget to keep shooting. Bye, guys.